Hello everyone, and welcome back to the series. In this video, we're going to be diving into creating a nice smooth follow camera for our player, and we're going to be using Cinemachine. So let's go ahead and jump right into that and get going. The first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that we have Cinemachine installed, and this is a really nice tool for creating very easy to use cameras. So first, we're going to jump over to Window, and then we're going to go down to Package Manager. And if it's not already set up to Unity Registry, usually it might start under My Assets, but you'll want to change this to Unity Registry. And then you can simply go over here and search for Cinema, and you'll find Cinemachine, and then you'll go ahead and install this here. And it takes just a couple of seconds. And once that's installed, we'll go ahead and close that out. And then the next thing that we need to do is we need to actually add in our Cinemachine camera. So to do that, over here in the hierarchy, we'll just go ahead, right click and go down to Cinemachine, and we're going to be selecting the 2D camera. So for now, I'm just going to leave mine as virtual camera. I might rename this later, but you'll see a couple of things. You'll see here the main camera has this little icon attached to it now. So this is also going to have a Cinemachine brain attached to it. So basically our Cinemachine camera is going to be taking over our main camera here, and you can have multiple Cinemachine cameras if you wanted, and you can do a bunch of cool things like that. For now, we're just going to have the one, and we're just going to have it following the player. But later on, we might add a couple more, depending on if we're doing like cutscenes or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. So with our camera created, to actually make the camera follow the player, it's really simple. All we have to do is over here, under the Cinemachine virtual camera, there is a line item here called follow. We can simply click you can either drag in what you want it to follow, or you can click the little circle there, and we're just going to select the player, and now it's going to follow the player. And if we just click play here to show this is pretty much all that you have to do, and you can see that the player is now being followed. So we can change some of this, but that's pretty much all you have to do right away to get that set up. So there's a lot of different settings that you can change. We're not going to go into everything here in this video as there's just too many. We're just going to kind of make this a pretty basic follow camera, so it'll work for our needs. So one thing that we can change in here is the dead zone width or height. And this controls how much the player can move around on the screen before the camera actually starts to follow them. So currently it's set to 0, but if we were to do something like a 0.1, you'll see now that there's little lines on the screen. The same with the height if we do that. So once the player actually moves outside of these lines is when the camera would actually start to follow them. So for ours, I think I'm going to set mine to 0.1 just so the player can move a little bit and then before the camera actually follows them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to also change the soft zone width down here. I'm just going to change this one to maybe a 0.4, and you'll see that the blue box shrunk here. And if you hover over this, it kind of tells you what it's going to do. So the camera is going to gradually move horizontally to realign towards the desired position. And that's going to depend upon our damping speed up here. So this is just going to kind of give the camera like a smoother transition when it's following. And then up here, the X and the Y damping, I'm going to set mine to maybe like 0.5 instead of 1 here. And then a lower damping value should make the camera respond quicker to the player's movements. And then one other thing that we can change is the screen X or the screen Y. If you move them, you'll see that the camera is, offset. I'm going to change my screen Y to like a 0.4. So the player is just up top a little bit higher. I think this will make it a little bit better, especially as we're going to be digging down a lot of the time. And that way the player can see, what's underneath them and stuff like that. Maybe we'll even go like a 0.45. I don't want it to be too far up. But with those changes, we'll go ahead and test this out one more time and see what it looks like now. Should look pretty similar. All right. Yeah, so, it looks like it looks pretty good. I feel like it feels pretty smooth, pretty nice. Camera, you can see here, so it doesn't start following the player right away when I'm moving, but once I hit that line, now the camera is following me. And that happens when we're moving up and down as well. It's just a little bit harder to tell here, but we go up and then it doesn't start going down until I hit that threshold. If you wanted to, you can change how zoomed in you are as well in your game. You could just change the ortho size here. If you want to make it a little bit more zoomed in, you go ahead. We might do something, I don't know. I might stick to maybe like an 11 or something, but after we stop that, I'll just go ahead and change that to an 11. I think that was a pretty good size. So that's pretty much it for the camera. So as we continue to build out the game here, we'll maybe make some changes to the camera as we start doing more things. Maybe once we're flying in the air, the camera doesn't work quite as well, so maybe we need to make some adjustments and things like that. But for now, I think that the camera is going to work just fine for us.